Hello and welcome back to Second Opinion. I'm your host, Dr. Bryan Laskin. Very excited today because we have a great guest, Kayvon Mott, who is a website and online marketing expert with over 13 years of experience in web design, SEO, social media, and online marketing in the dental industry. Kayvon is presented on a variety of topics related to practice marketing for study clubs and national dental societies. His engaging presentations deliver value and actionable steps to practice owners, doctors, and staff create a successful online presence. Kayvon, thank you so much for being here today.
Great to be here, Bryan.
Well, you have, I think, one of the more you're in a great space because I feel like personally a lot of dental practices need a new website. Is that what you're seeing when you're out talking with dentists all the time?
Yeah, and the thing is, everyone needs a website. The reason is because everyone is going online nowadays. Even if you think of it, where's the first place you go to asking for a dentist? It's usually friends or family, right? And that really hasn't changed. But after we do that, we typically will pull out our phone and do what? Then Google that doctor, right? What do we see with their reviews? What do we see with, just that first impression and like, what are you walking into? So the website has really become that first impression. And what's great about websites is it allows you to control what it is that you want to be showcased, about you. So it's more and more doctors are having websites. You still see some people who are, I've been doing it for this long. I don't know if you see this, Dr. Laskin, in other areas. I've been doing it this long without this technology or without this, so I'm going to continue to do it for that long. But for most people who understand the value of a website, it's been really beneficial to their practice, their online reputation, and so much more.
I'm absolutely shocked when I talk to dentists who don't have a website or haven't updated their website or that are relying on people to do like marketing through their website by maximizing SEO and that kind of thing. And we've talked a little bit about this before. I, I personally feel like, you know, if you are going to take money and build a website with that has enhanced SEO, or if you're going to take that money and give it to Google, Google's probably going to put you at the top of the list versus some algorithm that's going to read text in the background of your website. But I know a lot of website companies that are talk about their search as engine optimization. So what is your feeling of creating a website that's optimized for search versus taking that money and spending it on marketing to optimize you in the placement on search engines?
So we're talking about SEO, which is an acronym for search engine optimization. For you out there who haven't yet heard it, it's basically getting found on Google for your services, right? So if someone's searching for dentist near me or implants in my zip code, is your website coming up or is your competitor's website coming up? Probably first and foremost, the most important thing is most dentists, their biggest mistake is they'll treat their website and their SEO like insurance. And what I mean by that is they'll just pay it and they'll never look to see if it's working, what they're getting, or if it's really effective, right? So that's
Mhm.
always the first place. Pre-pandemic, we grew our business. I would go talk to doctors face to face and show them, hey, you have this website. Can we compare what we have and what you have? And when a doctor can see for themselves, it's like putting an intraoral camera in the mouth, right? And they can see, you're right. My website's not even optimized for veneers, or it doesn't even have my city of, Dallas in Texas or wherever you're optimizing for. When a doctor can see that for the first time, that's what really gets them to understand, hey, maybe there's something better out there. Now, in terms of SEO success, we've been doing this for 13 plus years. Our story of doc sites is our very first client gave us $1,000 cash in a white envelope and said, I'm going to Las Vegas. He was a dentist and said, I have 4 empty walls and nothing else. No brand, no practice. I need you guys to do whatever it is you're going to do with websites and SEO to get my practice up and running. And it was a real success story. We grew them from 1 to 13 locations in about 8 years. And primarily it was through websites and SEO and content creation. And that's really how doc sites came about. So we use the same strategies that we use then now to really do well on SEO. And I think this is really important for every doctor to know when it comes to SEO. One, is your website optimized for SEO? Meaning, does it have the foundation in there? So, does it actually mention your keywords of the city that you're in? Does it actually have a treatment page for each of your treatments? That's number one. And then number two is, are you actually doing monthly SEO marketing and blogging? So what I mean by that is, at DocSites, we're one of the few companies where when you pay us for SEO, one, you can actually see what you're getting, how many posts you're getting, what you're doing. And two, very importantly, we only blog about what a patient is searching for. So I don't know if you've noticed this, Dr. Laskin, but you go to a blog and someone writes about Happy Cupcake Day, or how coconut oil makes your teeth shiny. That's great, but I guarantee there's no mom or dad or anyone looking for a dentist who's going online and saying, how does coconut oil make my teeth shiny? They're searching
Yeah.
for family dentists near me. They're searching for, the cost of implants. That's why it's really important when you work with a SEO company who knows what they're doing. They're going to create content focused on that. And that's really important. What are patients actually searching for on Google, and how can you align your website to that?
Gotcha. So website SEO, two separate things, obviously. One is kind of the calling card or the business card for your business, which should be optimized to have those things that people are looking for. And then when you're doing SEO, you really want to be focused on delivering content on your website and then also within the SEO for the things that people are looking for. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You nailed it. Those are much more important than things you hear, other things you hear about. Let me correct my initial, on 33 listings that no one's ever heard of. Those are not priorities. Your priority, if you're looking to do well on SEO, is have a great website, make sure it's optimized, and create, content on a monthly basis focused on what you want to rank for.
Well, because the vast majority of search is through Google, right? Maybe there's some on Facebook, and there's a lot on Amazon, which doesn't really affect dentists that much because we're not listing our practices on Amazon. But so, what are your thoughts on just taking money and giving it to Google Ads versus trying to do some optimization yourself?
That's a great question. So I think it comes down to the quality of the leads and the how far of an investment you're doing. So we all know the best leads are from word of mouth, right?
Hmm.
Those are the best patients. They're going to come. The second best we've seen over time is they come from SEO, and that is like organic search results. Because if you think about it, most people know that those top two or three are Google ads, right? So they'll tend to go to the organic listing and results. But then the Google ads are also great as well, because if you're searching for something and you're going on Google, you have a really high intent of actually paying for that service, right? If I'm, searching for Invisalign for adults near me, there's a high likelihood I'm looking to do Invisalign, right? So that's why Google is going to give you higher quality leads than, let's say, Facebook or Instagram, because I, as the patient, am looking for that service. I'm looking for you, whereas I'm on Facebook or Instagram and I'm just scrolling and you hit me with a teeth whitening ad. So overall, we've seen the quality of the leads on Google be much higher. Now, the thing with SEO is it takes time. It takes, it doesn't happen overnight, but once you do it well, it's great in terms of the ROI that it provides for you. Some practices come to us and they want to do a combination of both, because they want to put money into Google Ads to get more of the traffic and phone calls and visibility now, while the SEO, which takes a little bit longer, picks up. So it's a great combined strategy, and really has to do with what your budget is and what you're looking at.
Great. Well, I kind of jumped right to the questions that I had, and then you kind of backed up and said, SEO stands for search engine optimization. And so I guess when you're talking with dentists, what percentage of dentists do you think, just roughly speaking, have an optimized website for, say, mobile phones, which we know a lot of patients, the majority of patients now are probably searching on their phone. In my mind, that's a key piece to have a website that is optimized for any device, a responsive website, as it's called. So when you're talking with dentists, what percentage of practices do you think have what I would say is a bare minimal optimized website for patients to find them?
That's a great question. I would say the majority do have an optimized mobile responsive website. Say 70% do, and the other 30% don't. However, you picked on a really, really good question, which is, I think, like the nature of this show. Now, most doctors, when they look at their website, they don't realize that they're missing some other elements. So mobile responsive is just one part of it. Another part of it, and I see this is one of the biggest mistakes doctors make when it comes to their website, is they have all these incredible 5-star reviews, maybe 50, maybe 100 5-star reviews they've earned on Google. Well, when you go to the website, do you know how many of them are showcased? Zero. That's big, right? We don't buy anything online, without looking at reviews. And here you are, paying good money to do marketing and websites, and you're not even showcasing your reviews. Or another thing is you actually might have before and after cases, good aesthetic work, but you don't have a before and after gallery, or you don't have personalized photos on your website, right? So these are all important things in addition to the mobile responsiveness. And again, something that, when we get busy as business owners, we don't look at these. And this is why the second opinion is really important, and, something that we're very passionate about. So whenever we work with a client, the first thing we want to do is see what they have and show them what they have. Hey, doctor, this is your website. Did you notice you're doing these things well? And here's your room for improvement, in plain English, in words they can understand, without fancy reports and jargon and things like that. Because then the doctor feels like they're educated and they're making the correct decision, and they can see what's missing from their website. So I would say falling in that category, Dr. Laskin, of how many of them are not optimized properly, or are not showcasing their reviews and beyond, I would say in the high 90s.
Reviews are like referrals on steroids. We had one review at my practice that we saw that it's being looked at like 1,000 times a month. It is like the people still, like you were saying, I believe, ask their friends and family. But
Yeah.
then just like if your friend tells you to buy a new coffee pot, you go to Amazon and there's five-star reviews. You're probably not going to buy that coffee pot because there's only 5 reviews, right? So you're going to look for the one that's 4.8 that has 1,000, and then you have the confidence. And I think that's the way patients are looking at our practices now too. I
Absolutely, and
agree.
showcasing that. I was just doing a webinar with Dr. Chad Duplantis, and he's in Texas, and he was saying, ever since you guys redid our website, we're getting a lot more patients calling us and saying, we saw your reviews, and they're booking appointments. He's like, now the interesting thing is, it's not like when you did our website, all of a sudden we got 200 plus reviews, but what you did well is you showcased those reviews on our website and you embedded them. And we're one of the few companies at DocSites where we'll actually embed and showcase the Google reviews right there. So it gives the impression, the true impression, that wow, this is a phenomenal practice. Look how many great reviews they have. So again, a lot of doctors have great reviews. They're just not utilizing or leveraging it as well as they can be.
Well, and as with second opinion, what I'm trying to do is ask the question that's going on in our listener's mind. And so, do you show negative reviews? Because everybody's afraid of that 1-star review that is probably not a clinical issue. It's probably somebody that didn't have the right financial arrangements made at the front desk. Says that, so do those also get showcased on your website?
We don't showcase anything less than 5-star reviews. So, we can't do anything with them appearing, let's say, on Google, but on the website, we have full control. So it only shows the 5-star reviews there.
Gotcha. What other pitfalls do you see? Because, obviously not showcasing reviews on your website is a big pitfall. What other pitfalls do you see that dentists fall into when it comes to their website and
And
online presence?
yeah, one big pitfall is they just leave the photos impersonalized, you know?
Hmm.
So if you have photos of whether it's your staff or your office space and it looks nice or your operatories, that's a big missed opportunity if you don't showcase that. I think that's another big pitfall. Another common mistake you want to avoid, especially if you're considering doing marketing, just be aware that they're not locking you in for 12 months or it renews for a year. At doc sites, we don't have any long-term contracts. So, we do right by our customers and our clients, and everything is just on a month to month. So that's something really important to, look out for. You want to make sure that you own your own website domain so that if in case you do leave, you could take that website domain with them and just really, another thing is too, if you've been wanting to change your website or upgrade it, consider now being the best time to do it. A lot of doctors are in I'm in the trenches, right? Speaking to a lot of doctors. A lot of doctors want to update their website, want to upgrade their marketing, but maybe they're working with their front desk's daughter who made it, right? Or their husband's in IT and the husband really doesn't know marketing or anything like that. And so maybe they feel like, it's okay that he or she is doing it. So that sometimes is a cost to you as a business owner, and that costs you production, that costs you revenue, that costs you a lot by just kind of, deciding to give your website or marketing to someone just because maybe they're a patient and you swapped out veneers for them, or it's a family friend. So there's real value in having a professional build out your site and do your marketing because they're going to see and know things that someone just making a website wouldn't.
Totally agree. And I want to go back on a couple points that you made because I feel strongly that dental practices shouldn't be going into long-term contracts for pretty much any technology they sign up for. I think that these 12-month, 24-month contracts are difficult because you want to have, like you do, the company provide value that you can see that you're paying for month after month. Now, sometimes there are things that make, maybe it's a 12-month training consulting agreement or something like that that might make more sense, but that I think that's fantastic. And owning your domain is a big one. That's huge. And I think another common pitfall, not just in websites and online marketing, but across the board, hire professionals that know what they're doing. Don't
Yeah.
use your aunt or uncle or cousin or patient. That's like been my worst experiences is when I've not even for my practice, but like you'll come in and I'll do see your patient or do some work on a family member, and then you can like fix the floors in my house. Never works out to anybody. Everybody's always mad at the end, and you never get the best result. So I would certainly just pay professionals to know what they're doing, that know what they're doing to do their thing, and then do the same for your patients. I completely agree. Well, what opportunities do you think? So not just the pitfalls, but what opportunities for increasing your online presence do most dentists have that they're not exploiting, that they're not taking advantage of?
One, I think, is showcasing their positive reviews. I think it's really important that your website should have a page titled reviews, and it's going to draw the eyes of people and really showcase your best reviews. I think that's a big opportunity. The second biggest opportunity is the SEO and really getting found on Google, right? And what we do here at Docsides, again, if you're interested to know, well, is my website optimized? Am I getting the most? You can go to docsites.com or reach out to us, and we do a complimentary second opinion to show you, in words you understand, not fancy reports, but actually show you on a screen share, is your website optimized? I think that's a really big pitfall. And it's unfortunately one of those things where it's like the wild west. So someone doesn't know, am I getting SEO or am I not? So with us, what we've done, and if you go to docsites.com, you can see exactly what you're paying for, what you're getting when it comes to SEO optimization that adds clarity. I think another big opportunity is really offline, how you're following up. So what I mean by that is, we have clients who say, "Hey, I want to put money into Google Ads," and we want them to do well. So I'll ask the doctor, "Great, do you have a follow-up system for people who call your office?" And most of them do, but some of them say, "What is that?" And I'm surprised, right? I think that's really, really important, because if we do your SEO and your website and you're really happy with doc sites and everything is great, but you have a front desk who has not been trained to follow up with phone calls or follow up with emails. And we both know sometimes it doesn't happen on the first one, right? I think that's a very, very big missed opportunity, because that's really where the buck stops. And if you're not there following up on those patients who want to come and see you, who want your treatment, then you're really not only doing a disservice to your own practice, but really them, because you're not catering to them and their needs. So I think that's really, really important. Sometimes it doesn't get the attention that it needs to, but really it's really important for your website and your marketing to do well. As your staff trained to follow up and bring those patients in.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if the phone's ringing, nobody's answering it, or they're answering it poorly. It doesn't matter that the phone is ringing. And to that point, I mean, how important do you think it is that it's important to be able to communicate with patients the way they want to communicate? And let's face it, most people don't use their phone as a phone anymore. They want to communicate directly from your website, either by being able to contact you via secure messaging or email, or basically they want to be able to type on your website to contact or to reach out to you, and then having a follow up based on that. I think that's an important piece. I think how it's done probably is not as important, but expecting people to pick up a phone and call your office, I think is dated in 2022. Do you agree?
I would say for some people, they do prefer to just text, right? Or to make an appointment, and they like that. I would like that, hey, great, this is when I want to see it. A lot of people still like the personal touch. So the offices still prefer, I'd like to make an appointment. I'd like to have my staff follow up and make the appointment, which is great. Given that, I think there's some essential items like text reminders for your appointments. Those are essential, right? To have a tool where it's helping you. And I know you believe in this, Dr. Laskin. Like, technology should be there to really improve your life, the lives of your patients. And I think there are those elements that are really what I would consider essential, like text reminders, appointment reminders. And you're right, it's not which system you use, but are you actually using it to make everyone's lives, including your practices, easier.
Yeah, I mean, I think if our job is to increase the oral health of our population that we serve, and right now half the patients don't see a dentist regularly, right? And let's face it, it's a lot more convenient to get a meal from McDonald's than it is to make an appointment at a dental practice or to reach out to their dental office. Like, we need to respond to the what's going on in the rest of the world and communicate with people the way that they want to. And I think that comes down to our website too. Our website should meet people where they are. And I understand, like you said, that offices want to process patients the way that they want to, but at what expense? Like, are we putting up barriers that prevent more people seeing us? I think in a lot of cases, in a lot of practices, the answer is yes, and we should look to lower those barriers of entry for our patients, right? And I think the website is, I mean, it's like you're talking about before. It's the front door to your practice in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it does that, because guess what? If you don't have a website and it's past 5 o'clock and someone wants to make an appointment, they can't. They cannot. But if you have a website, at least they can either go fill out an appointment, you get back to them. So it is a lot of what we're saying of website and marketing is dropping the barriers, but also showcasing how you're different. I think this is a really, really important part. I mean, you have these DSOs coming around in a lot of communities and a lot of neighborhoods, and the dentist down the street is thinking, what's that going to do for my business? More than ever, it's really important that you have a website that showcases how you're different and is pulling people into your practice. Because if you're not, guess what? That competitor down the street or the DSO who just opened up or is going to open up is going to be taking that business. So it's really important that you see your website as a way to showcase your practice and what makes you unique and draw people in with things like SEO and advertising and marketing.
I think that's a key point you just hit on that I want to reiterate because I think it's important, not just for your website, but in general, knowing what makes your practice unique and messaging that consistently, obviously directly on your website, which is probably the most important place to do it. But through all your marketing, why, if you're a patient, why would you go to this practice? If you say you fix teeth, guess what? Everybody fixes teeth. If you say you're cosmetic, you better show it like you're talking about in images and showcase your unique results. I think you're exactly right. I think those are great points. And I think that too many dental practices, when they're thinking about marketing, they're thinking about their practice in a vacuum of every other practice. And not, I don't believe that our competition is truly other dental practices. I think that, however, to break through the noise of all the marketing that patients hear all the time, we have to tell patients why they should come to our practice, right? And if you don't know that, nobody knows. And so you should be very clear on why somebody should come to your practice and get that message out there. I think that's an absolutely phenomenal point.
And
Thanks.
and most doctors do know that. Like we had a client some months ago reach out, small town in Wisconsin, said, "Hey, we're in a small town, but we don't like our cookie cutter website." So they hired us to build a more semi-custom website that showcases, just that hometown feel, personalized photos, and gives you an office tour. That's what was important to them. We have, another doctor who says, "Hey, my focus is technology and I want to promote same day crowns. I just got this, Surrect system, and that's what I want my homepage and us to showcase." So really, that's another advantage of working with a company like Doc Sites or another marketing company is we don't just put things up there. We want to have that conversation to bring out really what makes you unique and showcase that on your website and in your marketing.
I think it's hugely important. And I think that, like you said, right now is a great time to be updating your website, updating your marketing, because just as there's been this great resignation, that everybody knows about, and there's a lot of reshuffling of employees, there's a gigantic reshuffling of patients right now.
Yeah.
Patients didn't see a dentist. A lot of patients haven't seen a dentist even since the shutdown, or they've been had time to think about it, and their online dentistry was on the national news in a big way, talking about teledentistry and the other factors throughout the pandemic. And so I think a lot of patients are keeping their ears and eyes open for a new dental home. I think it's a good time to be well positioned for that by putting your unique positioning in the marketplace on your website and all your marketing. So Kayvon, thank you so much for being on the podcast, and it's been great discussing this with you. Obviously, you said it before, but if people want to find out more information, should they just go to docsites.com?
Yeah, all you need to do is go to docsites.com. That's DOCSITES.com. You can reach out to us. We also have a 888 number. It's 888-980-4949. And again, my name is Kayvon Mott with DocSites. And what we do is we provide affordable and effective websites and marketing services. So if you're interested in getting a second opinion, you can reach out to us and ask for myself, Kayvon, or one of our team members can help you. That's really, where we'd like to start to show you what you have now and what a objective second opinion is to see if it makes sense for you to switch your website or marketing provider, or maybe get a website for the first time. So again, the domain is docsites.com. That's DOCSITES.com.
Thank you, sir. Great talking.
Dr. Laskin, have a great one.